So guys, let's take a brief look at this DNA analysis of a pure-blooded Igbo Nigerian. This would mean that her blood was specifically E1B1A DNA. And we are tracing this DNA all the way back to 5000 BC when the Sahara was still a rainforest, specifically at the split of the Sahel in 4000 BC, splitting the E1B1A DNA and the E1B1B DNA. This DNA is at 60% found in Central Africa, 80% found in West Africa, and found in high conglomerates in West Asia. Now, we know that West Asia is the Middle East, and the Middle East is simply Africa. This is Egypt. This is Israel. This is the Sinai Peninsula. This is Saudi Arabia. This is Mesopotamia, ancient Iran, ancient Iraq. This DNA goes back to those people groups. Therefore, when we began to take the word of the Igbo, who were also called Hebo, and historically Hebo was thought to be a corruption of the word Hebrew itself. Just looking at the root of Ebo, E-B-O, this is going to bring us to Eber, who is the son of Shem, where you begin to get the word Hebrew from. So when you begin to look at the Hebrews, we will see that the Hebrews have a tradition of chronologically leaving out of Mesopotamia in 2181 BC during the famine that was tracked in the book of Genesis, the 12th chapter, where Abraham was first called Hebo or Hebrew. So then we should be able to find this DNA analysis amongst the Hebrews while they were in Egypt as well. When we began to look in ancient Egypt in 1550 BC, we see without a shadow of a doubt that Eber's papyrus was in ancient Egypt. So Eber's descendants were in ancient Egypt in 1550 BC to 1292 BC. This would be the grandsons of Jacob, okay? So these are the 12 tribes of Israel's sons and daughters. So when we begin to look at the Igbo's oral tradition, their history state that they have a predecessor by the name of Neri or Eri, N-R-I or E-R-I. He was their king. Eri is the Gadite who would have come, whose descendants were seen as king and priest over the northern kingdom. And they were called to come back into Jerusalem in 722 BC to begin to teach the priesthood of Yahweh unto the southern kingdom of Judah, Benjamin, and Levi. And this is how you begin to see some Judah as well as some Gadites amongst the Igbo. So when you begin to see that the oral tradition of the Igbo state that Eri was a king and that they had a priesthood, this priesthood is called Ara Chuku. Chuku is the name of the Most High. You see the Chu or the C-H-U or the C-H-I, this is going to be Chai. This is the letter of life, numerically equivalent to the number 18 in Hebrew. It's a literal letter, okay? When we look at Aaron, this is Aaron. This is the Aaron priesthood of Yahweh that the Gadites begin to teach. So when you begin to look at Eri in the Bible as a Gadite and Ishan as the tribe of Judah in the Bible, you also want to look at Aswan. And Aswan was a landmass. Ishan was a city where the tribe of Judah lived, okay? So this is already lining up with the Igbo oral history. If we take a step further and we look at the DNA analysis of the Igbo with the E1B1A DNA, aligning with the fact that Eber was indeed in Egypt with the Eber papyrus in 1550 BC, we will also find that the E1B1A of the ancient Igbos were found in Egypt at the same time that Eber's and his descendants and the tribes of Israel were in Egypt. We cannot deny that the Igbos house ancient Hebrew DNA and that this is the greatest DNA found amongst African Americans whom are reclassified Native Indians, proving that Native Indians too are Israelites.